Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. I'm your host, Nancy Guitar. With me is a guest who, well, this is the first time he's been here in person, but he's been on the show a number of times, Monty Ritchings. Welcome back.
Thanks, Nancy.
So just remind people what it is you do.
You know what? If I ever get it figured out, I'll let you know.
Okay. One thing I know you do, you write books.
I do. I have 7 books. I do both nonfiction and fiction, but they're all in the same vein. In that my background is in mysticism.
Right.
I have studied the universal energy and understanding why are we here for most of my adult life, which is like about 3 weeks.
Okay, some of us haven't grown up yet, but anyway.
Well, what's the point?
No, I do it.
Yeah, I've always been a real adventurer, and I adventure in my life in the physical level, but I also do on the spiritual level too. And it's been something that's been really important to me all my life, because there were a lot of things happened in my younger life that I couldn't explain in the physical life, and it took moving into the metaphysical or mystical life to explain things. Like, can I give you an example? I actually have never been able to explain this one. I have 2 lifetimes. I'm an author, but I also have driven trucks for a lot of my life. Well, back in the earlier millennia, I drove truck for BC Rail in northern BC. So I'm driving a tractor trailer. This is not my Mazda tractor trailer. I'm coming down the Alaska Highway from Fort St. John to Dawson Creek, and about halfway down, there's a honey farm. In the summertime at the honey farm, you can turn right and take a shortcut through on a dirt road, and cuts off about 30 or 40 miles of the road to go back to Chetwood. So I'm driving down the road, and I'm looking and I'm going, should I turn right or should I go to Dawson Creek or whatever? I didn't have a reason to go to Dawson Creek. The next thing that happened was I passed a road sign at one of the mile boards, and it said Chetwynd 40 miles. Well, Chetwynd is 62 miles from Dawson Creek.
Okay.
So and from Farmington, where the honey farm is, to Dawson Creek is 23 miles. So somewhere I lost over 40 miles.
Wow.
I have no idea to this day how I did that in a tractor trailer.
Right.
So it wasn't like I just did an astral projection. If I did, I took a whole tractor trailer with me.
It's fascinating though, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so those are the kind of things that have inspired me to look at life and not look at life just from the physical, what we call the mundane world. What we can see in front of us is the mundane world, but to look at why are the occurrences that happen, why do those happen, and am I causing it? Is it part of my life purpose? Are there other forces that are causing it? And that's been a huge part of why I've studied mysticism for so many years. It's absolutely fascinating, and when things start to happen. And then I wrote my first book. Find it here.
By the way, he gave me a book. It's a freebie. I love freebies. Sorry.
That's book 1 of my fiction series, The Ascender's Return to Grace. I channeled that book. Guardian Angel Rachel gave me the instruction to get on the computer. So I did. I was her secretary. So this is the 3rd version of my first book. See if I can get that to come up. Yeah, Embracing the Blend. Those are my son and his family. I wrote the book because so many people were asking me why the things that were happening in their lives happened. Like, why do I, why do I attract people that are bad for me?
Right. This
sort of thing. Why do I attract people that are good for me? Because it works in both ways. And so through the process of what I've come to understand, I did study this in university too. What I've come to understand is that we develop the system, the belief system that runs our lives between the time that the egg and the sperm get together and your 7th birthday. And you develop what are called core beliefs based on the experiences that happen in your childhood. And then what happens is you just keep repeating them. Right. And what happens because of that is that we kind of come into life and we don't grow anymore, because we just keep spinning our wheels and spinning our wheels. So I was, again, Guardian Angel Rachel had me do this too. She's been with me for a long time, and she wanted me to help people to understand how the core beliefs develop, how they impact our lives, and most importantly, how we can recognize and change them. Right. And one of the things that what spurred me on, I presume my sisters are okay with this. One of them's passed on already. Anyway, I grew up in a very violent childhood, and this is often a reason why people reach out into the metaphysical side.
Right.
My father he was convicted as a dangerous sexual offender, and he was a very violent person. He talked with his hands all the time. So I learned to live in my bedroom because it was safe. Well, guess what? I still do. And as much as I'm an extrovert, and I'm really thankful that Nancy gave me a chance to come over and have a visit today and we'll do a talk here, but I find it so easy to just go and hide.
I understand that. By the way, I just want to say something,
Yeah.
by the way, when he mentioned that, like, I gave him the opportunity. This is impromptu. I had a guest that didn't show up, like, Monty doesn't live in Chilliwack, but he contacted me, have a coffee, and I said, hey, listen, I have a guest that didn't show up. Would you like to do an impromptu interview? And he said, yes. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Oh, and just to explain this, you see on my neck here, I just came from the laboratory and I have a heart monitor on right here. I'm not going to show it to you. It's not that exciting. But anyway, this is not funny underwear or anything like that. It's just part of how you hold a
It's not being
heart monitor.
kinky.
Well, not at the moment.
Anyway, I interrupted you again.
That's good.
So,
No, that's great. You're the boss here. Yeah. So the experience, what I want, what I dream of for people is to understand that we are not limited by the way that our lives unfold. And what I encourage people to do is to look at your life. If there's something that's going on that keeps repeating all the time, and I have to constantly look at it myself. I'm a normal human being. Well, and when those things keep happening, recognize that they're part of the belief system that you developed as a child. And the beauty of it is where we are in the development, the evolution of mankind is we can now change them.
yeah.
And but your first step of it is recognizing there's something I keep doing which is not sitting well with me.
Mhm.
And I mean, I could go on for hours about the things that I've had to do in my lifetime of just recognizing, this doesn't make sense why this is going on. And I take steps to try and change it. And there are simple things that we can do that just make our lives so much easier. One of the things that I am really touting these days, which is absolutely essential, I think, for people to understand, the two things that we need to do in order to manage our lives properly is number one, breathe properly. Most people do not breathe properly. When we breathe, take a deep breath right now. What are you moving on your body when you breathe? Most people move their lungs. You need to move your belly. And the reason is because when you move your belly, it clears the toxins out of the bottom of your lungs.
Mm.
If you breathe only moving your lungs, you don't clean those toxins out. So every time you take a breath, you're recycling those toxins
Right.
over and over again. How do you expect to ever relax if you don't clean the toxins out of your lungs? Doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't, no.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's something people don't think about.
That's right, because we're trained to just let our lungs run automatically. And it's the breath that by using the breath, and there's different breath cycles that you can use that will actually take you out of being stressed out back into the calm again. It's the breath that manages it.
Okay.
And so by being a conscious breather, you can manage stress in your life, which is my book number 2. The second thing is we are mostly made of water.
Right.
And we need to have good water in our bodies constantly. If you drink coffee, I love coffee, but you have to replace the water that's pushed out by the coffee because it's a
diuretic.
Thank you. That's why I keep her around. It's a diuretic, which makes you go pee more. Okay, so get the water down there. As much water as you can do a day. Avoid ice in your water because ice causes your small intestine to cramp. You don't want that. Cool water, great. The way to go. Oh, and the third thing is take time every day to stop.
Okay, just stop.
Just stop. You don't have to meditate. Don't watch TV. Just sit down in your favorite chair and just stop.
That's not easy to do.
What you gotta.
Okay, why?
Because you need to get your body the chance to, and your mind a chance to just not be busy all the time. We are taught from the minute we're born that you got it. First of all, you have to justify your life. And that's what keeps us moving all the time. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's what your parents are saying all the time when you're a kid. So you don't feel comfortable stopping. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. That's all there is to it. The reason for it is that when the way that the body works, and so we basically in this world, I'm going to step into my other world now.
Okay.
We are finishing the age of Pisces, which is a 2,000-year stretch, which goes from back about the time that Jesus was born until the fifth dimension brought out the song
Age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius in 1967. It actually was the seed, the beginning of the dawning of the Age of Aquarius. That song was for real.
Okay.
So the difference between living in Pisces and living in Aquarius is that through Pisces, we learn to explore the world through our mind. We went out and we explored this planet, and whether we explored the planet and we invented stuff. We invented the shovel, and we invented this and this. Well, if you look in the last 50 years, the stuff that we've been inventing has been for the head, not for our hands. Pisces, the symbol of Pisces is your hands. So working the head and the hands together. As we move into Pisces, we move through move into Aquarius, I mean, we have to go through this cusp. A cusp is about 350 years. So starting about 1966, 67 was the beginning of the cusp. And it'll go way past when we're done here. And that's why all this foolishness that's going on these days is because it's the transitional energy from Pisces to Aquarius. So what Aquarius is about is working the mind with the body. The people say it's moving into your heart. It actually is the solar plexus. Anyway, in our bodies, we have what are called chakras.
Yeah.
The chakras are like little power substations. So with the big wires come into the substation and then they project out. Each of these substations are sit in a gland or an organ in our body in the endocrine system. The endocrine system is the most important system in your whole body because it produces the chemicals that manage how your body works. Okay, so what happens is when you get into a situation, take for example, okay, you had an issue with men when you were younger, and it causes you to be uncomfortable around a certain type of a man. Okay, so you walk into a room and you're looking around, and all of a sudden your energy field out here picks up. There's a man there that you're not going to be comfortable with. What happens?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's your endocrine system doing that. And so when that happens, what happens is the ego in the mind, its job is to keep you safe.
Right.
Okay, so the endocrine, I mean the ego is attached to your emotional body. The emotional body is attached to your endocrine system. So when you automatically react to that person,
yeah,
your mind, bang, like that. It kicks into the emotion, you become afraid, and your endocrine system goes into play to keep you safe. But what happens and this is a cause of disease actually, is that if you're put into a situation, particularly when you're younger, where the trauma is ongoing and extremely deep, the endocrine system learns that that's normal.
Right.
And it's a constant problem that happens in your body that eventually you manifest disease from it, because the purpose of your endocrine system is to maintain what they call metabolic balance in your body. And it's trying its damnedest to keep you safe and to keep you in balance. But you've got this belief going on that's causing this to go on. And until you let go of that, it's just going to keep going.
It's kind of interesting, because like I also grew up in a very unpleasant home, and one of my sisters and I would talk about this. Like one of the things that happens, like I have very sensitive skin.
Yep.
This happened one day, all of a sudden, boom! I was 17 years old. Boom! My skin started to itch all over the place, and I thought it was the soap I was using, whatever. Since that day, I've been itching. But my sister and I both react adversely to most meds, so it's really, really difficult to find something that doesn't affect us. With the side effects, right? Like there's all these things, and I know what you're saying to be true. The changing it is the thing that we find hard to do.
Absolutely. One of the key people, and I have touted this woman for 40 years, 20 years before I actually bought her book, is Louise Hay. You could heal your life. She has a chart in there that talks about these, and this is something that I've learned along the way as well, is that if you look at the issue and where it affects your body, so what is the purpose of the skin? The skin is how you connect with the world.
Right.
Okay. So somewhere in there, a belief system was developed where you didn't feel safe with the world. And so the world is reacting to your skin.
Mm.
So the key thing, and this is again what I like to write about in my books, by divine, I don't care if you believe about God or what it is that you want to call God or whatever. I believe in a universal God. And the one thing that is so important that people don't realize in the process of the design of us as human beings is that God designed us safe. So on the back of my Embracing the Blend book, yeah, I was given these. It was a 2-line, what do you call it? A 2-line saying first, and then it became a 3 when I rewrote the book. It says, "You were born into safety, and then trained out of it. Now is the time to return." We have always been safe by design, but because of what we learned through our childhood, we learned not to be safe. And so what we do is we learn to cope.
Mm.
Coping doesn't cut it. You need to go back and trust that you're safe. So there's an affirmation I was giving, which I find very effective for it. And it is, "I am safe and secure." And you say that 3 times. I am safe and secure. I am safe and secure. I am safe and secure. Or you can say, "I'm safe and protected." Important thing is you have to do present tense and do it 3 times. There's a reason, because the way that the mind works.
Yeah.
And just do that, and then take a deep breath after you do it, moving your belly, and do that, and stop what it is because there's a thought process that's going on why you don't feel safe.
Mhm.
You have to stop it, and that's why it's important to take time to stop. Learn to stop,
Right.
and so when you get yourself into a situation, recognize it. And go, "I am safe and secure," or "I am safe and protected." Take a deep breath and just stop. Because you have the choice in your head when you recognize that, and that's what your body's doing, is it's expressing what your mind is telling you.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get that,
Yeah,
right? I get
yeah,
it. Wow, really interesting, actually, okay, so there's a lot of things you just sort of mentioned that resonate with me, and I'm sure that resonates with a lot of people, you
Yeah.
know? So people want to ask you questions, want to find out more. How would they do that? How would they reach you?
Well, I have a website. It's montyritchings.com or powerfulme.com. They both go to the same website. Or you can email me at lifeforcereative@gmail.com. There is a contact thing on my website, montyritchings.com.
Okay, so that way that, just want people to know, because again, we're living in it, as you say, that the time, it's a different time.
Yeah.
And we look out at the world, and it's horrible things that are going on.
Yeah.
Right, and it's almost like COVID like brought out more of the bad stuff.
Absolutely.
Gave people reason to be angry, and then a lot of people latched onto that, right?
We are, it's unfortunate that we have learned that fear is the norm. There are only 2 energies on the planet, or in the universe. There's love and there's fear. And fear has a whole bunch of different names. I was with a counselor back, let's see, 1998, I think it was. And this lady did the Victoria Satir form of counseling, which doesn't matter. But anyway, one of the things that she said to me was such a life-altering question. She said, "Monty, why do men get angry?"
Mm.
Do you know what the answer was?
No.
Because it's a socially acceptable way of being afraid.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not okay for men to admit that they're afraid, so they get angry.
Get angry,
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna run out of time.
Oh, we can't do that.
But I want to thank you again for doing this like impromptu. It was supposed to be just coming over for a coffee, but things change, so that's the way it is.
Life
So, yeah, so it is really great, but
Yeah.
I'll make sure I include Monty's information, so if you want to contact him, please do. And thank you for watching this show. I hope you continue to do so, everybody. Take care and peace out. Now I have to find the up button. There you go. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.